Now, have you ever wondered how a mega cluster of incredible galaxies are getting close together? Yes, James Webb Telescope was able to reveal this particular image that actually shows and uncovers new details in the Pandora cluster. And looking at this image, you can see that astronomers estimate that 50,000 sources of near infrared light are represented in this image, and this image is gotten from the James Webb telescopes, and their lights have traveled through varying distances to reach the telescope detector, representing the vastness of space in a single image. Now, astronomers, they've actually revealed this deep image view from the James Webb telescope that features a lot of never seen images or spots of this region of space, and this region of space is known as also the ABELL 2744, or you can call it the Pandora cluster, and this shows three clusters of galaxies, which is really massive. And so they are actually coming together and they form a type of cluster called a mega cluster. Now, this combination of images shows the mass combination and also shows how powerful the gravitational lensing is actually created here. And this shows how magnification effects of gravity impacts the result of your image, and this shows never seen before distant galaxies, and this is actually reaching to something that is really crucial in terms of scientists being able to unpack and understand the behavior of various galaxies as we approach early universes. And so this is really fantastic to see how this capability of James Webb telescope enables us to stitch a couple of things together, as is shown furthermore in this article. And it says here that this shows how it's actually an upgrade, of course, from the Hubble telescope, which actually had an image from the Pandora region or cluster. And seeing this infrared capability of the James Webb telescope allows for a broad mosaic view of this region's multiple areas of lensing. And so the goal here is for them to open up a new frontier in the study of galaxy evolution, of course, alongside that of cosmology. Now, according to this astronomer that kind of dives into the mythology behind the Pandora cluster, it says that there is a human connection that focuses mainly on the curiosity alongside discoveries of the past to the future, and this will actually help Webb, or I would say Webb will enable us to fill in the gaps as to various understandings of this particular region as we look at present and maybe getting close to future understanding of this behavior of clusters that form this mega cluster. Now, first time looking at this, I was actually like starstruck by the incredible detail, mainly looking at the foreground region of this image, and you can see different types of galaxies and even distant galaxies with the help of lensing. And I'm amazed by how you can actually identify different types of galaxy shapes. Either you can have the spiriotic or ellipses that you might get, or maybe a little bit of other types of things shape-wise that we've never actually detected before. So it's going to be interesting to see how more studies will be provided by James Webb Telescope and other connecting areas within this astronomy field of this imagery, so that we can dive more into different galaxies, the different colors, characteristics that one galaxy has that may be shared by other galaxies that are neighboring each other. And so I'm really curious to see how this is going to help also to understand the deep richness of this particular Pandora cluster and how it can be applicable to other clusters that are outside of our specific realm. Now, speaking of stitching, it says here according to this article that a new view of the Pandora's cluster stitches 4 web snapshots together into one Pandoric image, and this is displaying roughly around 50 100,000 sources of near-infrared light. Now, in addition to magnification, gravitational lensing distorts the appearance of distant galaxies, so they look very different than those at the foreground. And the galaxy cluster lens is so massive that it wraps the fabric of space itself, enough for light from distant galaxies that passes through that wrapped space and to also take on a wrapped appearance. Now on the image, when you zoom in closer to the lower right, you observe something quite interesting, which is that that section was never revealed using the Hubble telescope image. And then looking at the James Webb telescope, due to the help of lensing, you're able to see not only that section but also many more galaxies that have never been seen before. So lensing actually enables you to reveal those galaxies from distances away to earlier new universe, and that is really fantastic illustration of the power of indeed the James Webb telescope. Now the next question is, what are the next steps in here? Now the next steps is mainly from a team that is known as, yes of course, Uncover team, and their goal now is to use a near infrared spectrometer and enable us to dive into select regions of galaxies and study more of them and also observe them. Now in terms of this image specifically, they were able to spend close to 4 to 6 hours to capture the cluster, but now this is total of around 30 hours of observing time to generate this particular cluster. So now this is one of the next steps here, is one, using the near infrared spectrograph to be able to provide precise distance measurements as long as other detailed information about lensed galaxies composition. And this is also going to help to understand more of the galaxy's assembly and also evolution. Now this here is the hope that by this summer we should be able to expect these observation results to be public, and I'm really excited to see those results and what are the interesting things that, you know, of course, that weren't discovered before but are now discovered based on the stories. So I hope you found this really informative in terms of this new image by James Webb telescope about the Pandora cluster and how this shows so many galaxies, and due to gravitational lensing alongside that of the infrared capability of James Webb's, we can be able to see distant galaxies that have never been seen before compared to what we had from Hubble Space Telescope. And question is this: based on the new analysis that we are hoping to get in the summer, what do you think are going to be the distances, like how many light years away, based on the measurements by the Uncover team? And so I'm looking forward to more interesting and wonderful details about this particular region and many more regions that have mega clusters that we are yet to explore. I hope you found this really informative. Hit a comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts about this. By that way, we can talk to you soon. Stay smart as always and believe in yourselves.